What's the dumbest thing a cop accused you of? I was walking my ferret. Yes, a ferret. His name was Noodle, and he had a tiny harness that made him look like a furry secret agent. We were doing our usual evening stroll through the park when a cop car pulled up beside us with lights flashing. The officer stepped out, hand on his belt like he was about to confront a dangerous criminal. He looked at me, looked at Noodle, then back at me. Sir, I'm going to need you to step away from the snake. I blinked. It's a ferret. Don't get smart with me. I know an illegal python when I see one. Noodle, completely unbothered, was busy sniffing a dandelion. He weighed maybe 2 pounds soaking wet and had the intimidation factor of a cotton ball. But this officer was convinced I was walking around with a banned reptile like some kind of suburban snake charmer. Officer, this is literally a ferret, a mammal. It has fur. It's wearing a sweater with tiny pumpkins on it. He squinted harder. That's exactly what someone with an illegal snake would say, trying to disguise it. At this point, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Noodle chose that moment to do his signature move, a little war dance where he hops sideways like he's auditioning for a Broadway musical. Very snake-like behavior, obviously. The cop pulled out his radio. I need backup. Possible exotic animal situation. Backup for a ferret in a Halloween sweater? Sir, are you aware that keeping dangerous reptiles within city limits carries a fine of up to $5,000? I pulled out my phone and showed him literally hundreds of photos of Noodle. Noodle in a Santa hat. Noodle eating yogurt drops. Noodle asleep in a hammock. Noodle's vet records clearly stating species ferret in bold letters. He wasn't convinced. These could be doctored. People do crazy things with Photoshop. 2 more officers arrived. They got out of their cars with the urgency of people responding to an active bank robbery. One of them immediately said, "That's not a snake, Rodriguez." Rodriguez doubled down. "It's camouflaged. Look how it moves." Noodle had discovered a stick and was now carrying it in his mouth like a tiny furry lumberjack. The second officer actually knelt down and pet him. Noodle immediately climbed up his arm and tried to steal his pen. "Rodriguez, this is definitely a ferret. My kid has one." Rodriguez was turning red. "Well, it looks suspicious from the car, the way it was moving. Very serpentine." "Everything looks serpentine when you're looking for snakes," the third officer said, clearly trying not to laugh. But Rodriguez wasn't done. "Fine, it's a ferret. But do you have a permit for walking it in the park? A permit for walking a pet? Exotic animal permit. Ferrets are exotic." The second officer sighed. "Rodriguez, ferrets are legal here. Have been for 10 years. Well, what about that sweater? Is that regulation pet attire?" Now even the other cops were looking at him like he'd lost his mind. One of them actually took out his phone and started recording, probably for the station's group chat. Rodriguez spent another 5 minutes trying to find something, anything, to cite me for. Leash too long? No, it was regulation. Walking after sunset? Still had 30 minutes of daylight. Disturbing the peace? Noodle was literally asleep in my arms at this point. Finally, the senior officer told Rodriguez to get back in his car. As they were leaving, Rodriguez rolled down his window and said, "I'm watching you and your ferret." "His name is Noodle," I called back. "Whatever it is, keep it under control." The other officers apologized. One of them gave Noodle a tiny police badge sticker, and they left. But Rodriguez? He drove by that park every evening for the next month. I'd wave. Noodle would do his war dance. Rodriguez would glare and keep driving. About 3 months later, I ran into the second officer at a pet store. He was buying ferret food. "Got one for my kid after that incident," he said. Named him Detective Rodriguez. I asked if the real Rodriguez knew. "Oh, he knows. Brings it up every briefing. Says we don't take exotic animal control seriously enough." To this day, there's probably a file somewhere labeled "Suspicious Serpentine Ferret, Case Unsolved." And honestly, Noodle would be proud. He always did think he was more dangerous than he looked. The tiny pumpkin sweater really sold the whole criminal mastermind vibe. Rodriguez retired last year. I sent the station a cake shaped like a ferret. They said he didn't find it funny, but everyone else did.